we have started with Bombay Tenancy and Agricultural Land Act, because we have been dealing with the general laws like a Transfer of Property Act, the easements, evidence, criminal law, Indian Penal Code, like that. Transfer of Property Act includes the lease, any definition of a lease, termination of a lease. Now, under the Transfer of Property Act, though there is a lessee, lessor, termination, etc., is contemplated, a separate subject under the Constitution is included in a state list, which is an agricultural land. And for agricultural land, the various states have passed their own laws. Like in Maharashtra, there is the Bombay Tenancy and Agricultural Land Act. Now the name may be Maharashtra Tenancy and Agricultural Land Act. So this enactment basically protects the tenants or defines the relationship between the landlord and tenant in respect of an agricultural land. Now, the tenant is a concept which we popularly understand as a lessee, but it has got a different dimensions or different shades, like a permanent tenant, protected tenant, deemed tenant, or tenant holding over. Now, I will start with these explanation of these terms in short. Now, who is tenant holding over? A person whose tenancy has been terminated, but who remains or cultivates the land, he will become a tenant holding over, which is also called as a statutory tenant. He is a tenant who is protected by statute. Now, who is permanent tenant? Permanent tenant is a tenant who cultivates the land from the time which is immemorial, which is not known, maybe more 40, 60 or more than that period. He continues the cultivation of land. He is called as a permanent tenant. Now, who is a protected tenant under the Tenancy and Agricultural Land Act? The protected tenant is a tenant who is having a special protection under the act, under those provisions which are separately enacted. I will go to those provisions later on. And who is deemed tenant? Now, deemed tenant, we will have to understand the definition of a tenant, then deemed tenant will be easy. Now, normally, a tenant is a lessee who cultivates the land. Now, where the landlord doesn't cultivate the land, but land is being cultivated by the person who is not a landlord or is or a laborer, then in that case, the person who is cultivating the land will become a deemed tenant, and he pays or is liable to pay the rent or the charges for cultivating the land. So deemed tenant is another dimension or a shade under the Bombay Tenancy and Agricultural Land Act. So this is how the tenancy are of having variety. Like that, landlord is also separately defined. As I told you just now, a landlord is who is personally cultivating the landlord, or he is the owner of the land. That is basically owner. But can there be a landlord who doesn't cultivate personally, but still can be deemed to cultivate personally? Can cultivate personally la फार महत्वाचा आहे. Now, when he cultivates personally by himself or any of the member of his family, like a brother, म्हणजे आता काही जणांचं समजा गावाकडे शेती आहे, तर मोठा भाऊ शेती करतो. तर whether the धाकटा भाऊ is not residing with him, whether he cultivates the land personally, The answer is yes. He cultivates the land personally. Similarly, if he gets the land cultivated for hired labor, who is a paid labor, in that case also, he is a cultivator of the land personally. Again, there is another kind of personal cultivation where there is a minor, there is a widow, there is a disabled person who is a landlord, but he cannot cultivate. She cannot go to the field. Somebody else cultivates for such widow or such a lady or such a minor or a disabled person. Then in that case also it is deemed that that person who is the landlord, who is a minor, cultivates it personally. So this is the difference between cultivation personally and the tenant. Now we come to the term which is called as agriculture. Now what is agriculture? Agri is a land and culture means to use the land to take a crop or to make the changes over the land to have some food grains to be cultivated and obtained from the land. So agriculture is again a definition which requires to be understood. Now agriculture land includes horticulture, it includes grazing of one's own cattle, but whether agriculture includes keeping the land fallow or no cultivation at all upon the land, the answer is no. If you keep the land fallow, if you don't cultivate anything over the land, then that is not an agricultural land. So that will become another. Now what is not included in agriculture are the allied pursuits. For example, allied pursuits means you can call it as the breeding of a livestock or animals, poultry farming, or grazing cattle of others. These are not included in the agricultural activity. So the land which is agriculture and agriculture activity is being carried out is an important basic fact for the agricultural land. So now we have got a definition of agriculture, definition of the agriculturist or owner, and we have got a definitions of tenant, who is a tenant or a deemed tenant. Now the important provisions under the Bombay Tenancy and Agricultural Land Act came in 1957. I will be dealing with the sections which are earlier, that is section 15, section 31 and 33. Now first we will deal with who is deemed purchaser or who has become the owner of the land. कारण हे रिव्हॉल्युशनरी आहे की जो लँडचा टेनंट आहे तो टेनंट हा डायरेक्ट 1457 मध्ये that is a deemed purchase. So he became the purchaser of a land on 1/4/1957, provided he is a tenant of the land, and on that day he was cultivating the land. A person does not get the ownership if he is not cultivating the land, maybe out of the land, claims that I am a tenant. Then in that case, that separate inquiry has to be done by the Mamledar. To declare a person as a owner of a land, there is a separate tribunal created which is called as a Agricultural Land Tribunal or Mamledar's Tribunal. Mamledar is given a power to inquire into whether the person is tenant and whether cultivating the land and who are the landlords. Now on that day, who are in possession in cultivating the land, they became the owner. Now, here again there is a little diversion, or you can say there is another provision which come in between. There were some tenants or some cultivators of the land who gave back the land to the landlord, which we call it as the surrender. Because some of the persons were cultivating the land and they accepted that I am a tenant now, since you are wanting or you are willing to take back the land, I am ready to give you back. That is called as a surrender. Now, surrender of a land requires to be done by following a very specific procedure, and that procedure is under BTNL Act. So if a tenant wants to surrender a land or is surrendering the land, the tenant has to make a statement before Mamledar. Mamledar is given a responsibility or a duty to verify that whether the tenant understands the consequences of making the statement that I want to surrender my tenancy rights. Secondly, the Mamledar also has to record by satisfying himself that this statement is voluntary. It must be in the language of the tenant. He can't write in English or any other language. If he understands that the tenant understand Marathi, he will have to write it in Marathi. So this recording of this entire statement is a crucial factor. So the Mamledar is entitled to record the surrender, and then after surrender, the land remains or goes back to the owner or the landholder. Now, there are some other important points which need to be considered, which is called as the ceiling. Mind well, the ceiling under the BTNL Act, ceiling under Agricultural Land Ceiling Act are separate topics. Now, under Bombay Tenancy and Agricultural Land Act, there is also a definition of economic holding that we will deal with, and when we take back the go back to the provisions of how the possession can be taken by the landlord. So, what is the ceiling under Bombay Tenancy Act? That is a 48 acres of a Jirayat land, 24 acres of a semi-irrigated land, and 8 acres of irrigated land. So these are the calculations which are important when the landlord can take back the possession, because under section 33 and 31, landlord has got a right, rather I should say had got a right to take back the land for personal cultivation, provided he has no other means of survival, provided that he does not hold the land up to the ceiling limit, then he can take the land from the tenant up to the ceiling limit, which I just now told you. That is the ceiling limit, which is fixed by this act, that in case of a tenancy, it is 48 acre, 24 acre, and 12 acres. It is not 8, but 12 acres. Now, this irrigated land has got a little different definition under Bombay Tenancy Act. What we understand irrigated म्हणजे ज्याला पाणी मिळतं, जिथं पाण्याचं पीक येऊ शकतं, म्हणजे ऊसाचं येऊ शकतं, अशा पद्धतीच्या जमिनीला आपण इरिगेटेड समजतो. दॅट इज नॉट करेक्ट. इरिगेटेडचा अर्थ दॅट इज विच इज इरिगेटेड थ्रू अ गव्हर्नमेंट कॅनॉल, not self-irrigated through well. So the land will be treated as irrigated if there is some canal going on or some scheme which is promulgated or which is being done by the government to supply water to the land. Then in those cases, those are the irrigated lands. Otherwise, irrigation by well is not an irrigated land if you are making some provision by yourself. Now, then again there is another kind of holding which is called economic holding. Now economic holding is another, again the quantum. It is 24 acres of Jirayat land, 8 acres of semi-irrigated land, and 4 acres of irrigated land. Now, when this kind of limitation is, why this limitation is placed? Because those are the embargoes for a landlord to take back the land. If a tenant is not holding more than economic holding, he cannot take. Or if the landlord is having more than 48 acres of land for himself, he cannot claim or get the land from the tenant, additional from the tenant more than 48 acres of a Jirayat land. So this is why this ceiling limit is mentioned in the Bombay Tenancy and Agricultural Land Act. Now, again, after the relationship of a landlord and tenant are established, say maybe prior to 1957, then you know that there is a BT&L Act under which he becomes the owner and he has to pay the price which is to be determined on the basis of assessment of the land. It can't exceed more than 200 times of assessment if the assessment is less or holding is less, or it will not be more than 20 times. Now these are the limitations as to the payment. Previously, under Bombay Tenancy and Agricultural Land Act, there was a provision that if the tenant fails to pay the amount, then purchase would become ineffective and land will go back to the government quota. That will become a government land. But subsequently in 1961, the provision is amended, and now the provision is that even if the tenant fails, tenant cannot pay even that amount, then in that case it will be recovered as a land revenue, but purchase will not become ineffective. He will remain or continue to become an owner of the land. So this is again an amendment, because number of the tenants were very poor. They could not get the money to pay even that amount. So that's why, though the installments were given, installments were not paid, defaulted. So this provision is now that he becomes the owner, remains the owner, and whatever amount is to be paid to the landlord, that has to be recovered as a land revenue. Now turning to how the tenancy is terminated. Now under section 14, the tenancy can be terminated by the landlord if there is a default in payment of rent for consecutively, if it is yearly 3 years, or there are 3 consecutive defaults, then tenant has to apply to the Mamledar, asking the Mamledar to pass an order for directing the tenant that he should pay the rent. And if he fails to pay the rent for 3 consecutive defaults, then he can terminate the tenancy and take back the possession. Now, also the possession can be taken if the tenant doesn't cultivate personally. मी मगाशी सांगितलं होतं, personally tenant doesn't cultivate. Tenant gives the cultivation to some other person or allows another person to cultivate the land which he is holding as a tenant, then in that case also the tenancy will stand terminated. Also the tenancy will stand terminated if the tenant's holding is more than the ceiling. काही वेळेला टेनंट 10 जणांची जमीन करतात आणि 10 जणांच्या जमिनीचं टोटल क्षेत्रफळ जर 48 एकराच्या वर गेलं जिरायतीला किंवा 24 एकराच्या वर गेलं बागायतीला, तर टेनन्सी कॅन बी टर्मिनेटेड. देन जर टेनंटने जे अर्थात बॉम्बे रेंट ऍक्ट किंवा महाराष्ट्र रेंट कंट्रोल मध्ये ही प्रोव्हिजन आहे, टेनंटनी ती जमीन दुसऱ्याला पोटभाड्याने करायला दिली, सबलेट, दॅट इज अ कॉमन ग्राउंड. त्याच्यानंतर टेनंटनी जमिनीचं ऍग्रिकल्चरल यूजचा यूज चेंज केला. म्हणजे काय केलं, त्यांनी त्या ठिकाणी चाळी बांधल्या किंवा रूज बांधल्या आणि भाड्याने दिल्या. हे घटना कधी घडतात, शहराच्या जवळ जेव्हा शेतीची जमीन असेल त्यावेळेला शहराच्या वाढीबरोबर शेतजमिनीच्या ठिकाणी लोक फायदा मिळवण्यासाठी तिथे कन्स्ट्रक्शन करतात. तर दॅट अगेन इज अ चेंज ऑफ युजर, and in that case the tenancy can be terminated. Then another is that a tenant who damages or cause injury to the land, म्हणजे एक मोठा खड्डा खाल्लाय, माती इकडून तिकडे नेलेली आहे, जमिनीच्या मध्ये बरोबर एक ट्रेंच करून एक रस्ता दिला करून, so in that case if he cause any damage or any injury to the land of which he is a tenant, that is called as a injurious or a destructive act by the tenant, then tenancy can be terminated. Now this termination of a tenancy leads to the same result, that is the landlord can take back the possession of the land. Now I will take to the different provisions under the Bombay Tenancy and Agricultural Land Act. आता डीम परचेस होताना 1457 ला जर लँडलॉर्ड मायनॉर असेल किंवा लँडलॉर्ड विडो असेल किंवा लँडलॉर्ड हा मेंटली अफेक्टेड पर्सन असेल, अशा वेळेला व्हॉट इज द प्रोव्हिजन? डीम परचेस इमिजिएट होतं का? And you know, under the Contract Act, you cannot have a contract with a person who is a minor or who is under disability. Similar, under the law, how can you confer a ownership right of his land upon a tenant when he is unable or disabled person? म्हणजे legally disabled. Disabled म्हणजे पाय अपंग आहेत असा नाही. Who is minor? Let us say take a case of minor. Then what happens in such a case? Number one. Number two, there is another facet. जर tenant minor असेल, म्हणजे जो tenant cultivate करत होता तो वारला, त्याचा मुलगा आता आहे पण तो minor आहे, अशा वेळेला what is the provision under the deemed purchase? म्हणजे त्यावेळेला tenantचा मालक होतो का? इमिजिएट होतो का? 1457 ला सगळे टेनंट मालक झाले, तर वेदर द टेनंट विल बिकम द ओनर, दॅट इज द सेकंड आस्पेक्ट, म्हणजे डिफरंट आस्पेक्ट ऑल टुगेदर. लेट अस कन्सिडर व्हॉट हॅपन्स इफ द लँडलॉर्ड इज अंडर द डिसॅबिलिटी. जर लँडलॉर्ड अंडर द डिसॅबिलिटी असेल तर टेनंटचा मालक होत नाही. वी कॉल इट ॲज अ पोस्टपोनमेंट ऑफ द टिलर्स डे. 1457 ही तारीख पोस्टपोन होते. कुठपर्यंत? जोपर्यंत लँडलॉर्डची डिसॅबिलिटी संपत नाही, म्हणजे मायनॉरचा मेजर होणे, विडोच्या नंतरचा वारस येणे किंवा मेंटली इल असेल तर त्याचा वारस येणे किंवा तो बरा होणे, यानंतर 1 वर्ष का. पण या कालावधीमध्ये महत्वाची प्रोव्हिजन आहे. या कालावधीमध्ये 1 वर्षात टेनंटनी लँडलॉर्डनी आपला टेनंटनी लँडलॉर्डला कळवलं पाहिजे की आय वॉन्ट टू परचेस द लँड. आफ्टर सेसेशन ऑफ अ डिसॅबिलिटी, the tenant must inform the landlord that he is interested and willing to purchase the land. That is important provision. If he fails to communicate and inform, then he doesn't become the owner of the land by postponement of the tiller's day. That is important provision. Then landlord gets a revived rights to get back the land under the various provisions. Say for a personal cultivation, say by default, whatever the grounds are there of termination. So these are the various provisions which are there under which he will be entitled to claim back the land. Now let us take the another position. What happens if the tenant is a minor? म्हणजे tenant मूळ वारला, तो वारस आला, तो वारला, तो हयात आहे, तो मायनर आहे. What happens today? 1457 ला तो मायनर होता tenant. The deemed purchase चा इफेक्ट हा तो मेजर होता क्षणी दिला जातो. When he becomes the major, so that deemed purchase is again a postponed. So that is the postponement of the tiller's day. Now I think the time will be short now, but I will try to do. Now under this BT&L Act, this is a very pioneering and very long-lasting effective provision by which the tenant has become the owner of the land. And unless it is a surrender, the tenant becomes the owner of the land. So these are the very provisions where the law is written like this, that lessee is equal to owner, tenant is equal to owner. So these are the provisions. Now, who are exempted from these provisions? Who doesn't become the owner? Now, there is a category of landlords against which tenant can do nothing. He doesn't become the owner. For example, if the land is held by a trust, educational institute, then in that case, the tenant doesn't become the owner on 1457. But with a condition or a rider that such a trust will have to obtain a certificate from the collector, which is called as a exemption certificate, and that exemption certificate will be granted to the trust, which is a registered trust and which uses the income from the land only for the trust. We call this category as a certified landlord. So these are certified landlords, which is a separate category. So also in this it is included the landlords who are having income less than 1500. They can also approach the collector, obtain a certificate that no other source of income, the land is only income, and therefore if my income total is less than 1500, then tenant doesn't become the owner of the land. कारण ओनरशिप दिल्या दिल्या याचं इन्कम सगळा स्टॉप होईल ना. 1500 रुपये मिळवतोय हा वर्षाला, म्हणजे अर्थात ती रक्कम फार कमी आहे. सो दे बिकम सर्टिफाइड लँडलॉर्ड. नाउ अंडर बॉम्बे टेनन्सी अँड एग्रीकल्चरल लँड ऍक्ट there are two other categories. One is the land which is given to a sugar factory for cultivation of a sugarcane on a lease. Then this deemed provision will not apply. Sugar factory doesn't become owner. If it is given for, then it is exempted from sections 32, म्हणजे 32G, 32G वगैरे वगैरे पासून exempted आहे. Now, then again another provision is about the purchase of a land by a non-agriculturist, which is prohibited because of section 63 of Bombay Tenancy and Agricultural Land Act. Now, purchase of a land by a person who is a non-agriculturist, then that purchase becomes ineffective. So such sale is void. Now, in one case, now I will stop by giving this case and tomorrow you will tell me the answer. There were 10 persons who joined together to purchase 150 acres of land. Now, definition of a person under the General Clauses Act and even under the Bombay Tenancy and Agricultural Land Act includes association of persons, a company. Now, these persons, they claim, because some of them were agriculturists, not all 10 were agriculturists. They claim that we are agriculturists as a person, so our sale is not void. There was another dimension that some of these, let us say these 10 persons were 5 couples. Their individual holding plus the holding which they have purchased, they exceeded a ceiling limit of each case. म्हणजे प्रत्येकाचे 10 एकर इथे घेतले, आणखीन त्यांची स्वतःची 40 एकर होती समजा, तर 2 एकरांनी एक्सेस झाले. So whether their holding became excess or as a person again, we have to calculate 150 एकर आणि त्यांना एक्झम्पशन तेवढं 24 एकराचं किंवा 48चं द्यायचं, उरलेली is an excess land. So these are the two questions. You consider it, we will solve it tomorrow. Okay? कारण बहुतेक आता वेळ संपलेली आहे. किती वेळ आहे? If the time permits, I will. 5 मिनिटं आहे. If the time is permitting us, we will deal with Bombay Tenancy Act only, but another provision which is certified landlord, whether he can take back the possession. Certified landlord, तुम्हाला मी मगाशी सांगितलंय. Though the landlord who obtains a certificate because it is a trust or because his income total is less than 1500, whether he can take back the land. The answer is yes. Certified landlord can claim or make an application to get the land as per the BT&L Act, and this will again under the BT&L Act other provisions. If the tenant has committed default, if the tenant has done any act which is contrary to the act, that is subletting, causing injurious affection to the land, or that he has done an act which is contrary to his tenancy rights. So in that case, he can take back the certificate. This certified landlord certificate also can be revoked. Number 1, if his income exceeds 1500. Number 2, if a trust has got another land or that trust is dissolved, then in that case also the certificate of this landlord will be revoked, cancelled. असे अर्ज बरेच येतात certificate cancellation चे, किंवा certificate obtained by fraud, by concealing the income. आणि सर्टिफिकेट मिळणारे लँडलॉर्ड कोण आहेत की ज्यांचं इकॉनॉमिक होल्डिंग, मगाशी मी सांगितलं होता कन्सेप्ट इकॉनॉमिक होल्डिंगचा. इकॉनॉमिक होल्डिंग पेक्षा ज्यांची जमीन कमी आहे, उदाहरणार्थ 16 एकरापेक्षा जिरायत लँड कमी आहे, 8 एकरापेक्षा सेमी इरिगेटेड कमी आहे, किंवा 4 एकरापेक्षा इरिगेटेड लँड कमी आहे, अशा इकॉनॉमिक होल्डिंग लेस असणाऱ्या सर्टिफाईड लँडलॉर्डना ज्यांनी सर्टिफिकेट मिळवलंय त्या लँडलॉर्डनी जर दुसरी जमीन त्याला मिळाली दुसऱ्या टेनंट कडून आणि त्याचं होल्डिंग वाढलं तर त्याचं सर्टिफिकेट कॅन्सल होऊ शकतं. His certificate is liable to be cancelled. So certified landlord doesn't become a permanent certificated landlord. आता जी जमीन टेनंट घेत नाही म्हणजे जिथं परचेस हॅज बिकम इनइफेक्टिव्ह, then in that case it goes to the government, to the state. किंवा 32 ग फ्रॉडने मिळवलेला आहे